Glad to welcome him into the radio program, David Cohn from Crain Company, my favorite sports show. David, how are you today?
I'm doing quite well. Thanks so much for having me.
Now, people were noticing that I was watching and laughing earlier today. I was watching the trailer for Lady Ballers. Now, folks, if you don't know what Lady Ballers is, if you have not seen the trailer, this is the latest movie from the Daily Wire. If you have not seen the trailer for Lady Ballers, it is really funny. It's also, David, really sad because it is reality today. Now, David, you're in this movie as, I guess, one of the Lady Ballers. Talk about what Lady Ballers is all about.
Dan, keeping this movie a secret for the past 6 months was one of the biggest challenges of my life. So Jeremy Boring, the CEO at the Daily Wire, he came to the three of us, that's me, Jake, and Blaine, the three of us who co-host the sports show here at Crain Company at the Daily Wire. He came to us and he said, guys, you know, a part of our missional statement at the Daily Wire that involves sports is that men shouldn't be competing against women. You guys have been great champions of that movement. We want to create a project that really hits at the heart of this, but it has to be funny. And he said, I've written this script here. I've written this scripted feature movie. I want you to read it. You have 2 hours. Report back to me on what you think. The three of us, we went to our studio. We read this script that Jeremy Boring and Brian Hoffman and Nick Sheehan wrote and put together, and I could not stop laughing. It was just absolutely incredible. And the fact that he would want me to be involved and to play one of these characters was just, it was one of the greatest honors of my life. And then we got to work. We had to get in basketball shape. I lost 30 pounds for this movie. I broke a finger prepping for this movie. It was grueling days. We only had 4 weeks to prep it. We had 26 days of principal photography to shoot it. And then the editing team has been working for, 4 or 5 months now to put the movie together so that we could release it before the holidays. We've tried our best to keep it under wraps so that we could have this big, huge premiere this week. And what you saw there in that trailer, that's what you're going to get. It's an incredible movie. I was able to see it Wednesday night at the cast and crew premiere for the first time, and something that you're not going to see in the trailer. Everyone who's seen the trailer, the 50 million people in the world who've seen it, they know by now the movie's funny. All right. And if you're going to make a comedy, it has to be funny first. But what you don't see in the trailer is that this movie has a lot of heart, and that's what really comes through. I read it the first time I read the script, I could see the heart in it, and I felt it when I watched the movie this week for the first time. It's an incredible project. I'm happy to be a part of it, and I would encourage everyone who understands that this is one area of our society that should be bifurcated, that men should not be competing and hoisting the trophies designed for the women in our society in sports. I encourage them to go see this movie because it's going to have a lot of laughs and it's going to have a lot of heart.
So when Jeremy Boring came to you and asked you to be in this movie, had you done any acting before?
Well, me personally, I've spent 10 years in the film and video production industry, mostly as a producer, mostly as a director. So the little bit of acting that I've done has been casting myself in short films. And when I was 12 years old, I was an extra in the movie The Legend of Bagger Vance because it's shot in my hometown. Again, nothing on the scale, though, of what we're talking about. And the two brothers, Jake and Blaine, they didn't have any acting experience. But, we wake up every morning and we do a live show for 90 minutes every day. And while that is completely different, there is an element to us being on camera live and having this sort of, impromptu every morning with each other that really prepared us for this. And he said, look, I know you guys aren't trained actors. We're putting a lot of faith in you here. I want to work with you in the weeks leading up to this, especially in regards to eye line. There's no looking down the barrel of the camera like you do professionally. You look down the barrel of that camera. Here, if you even look in the camera for 1 second, it ruins a take, and we don't have time to ruin takes. So look, there's no way around saying it. Jeremy Boring put a ton of faith in us, right? To come to us, I'm sure there were a lot of people in his ear saying, hey, we could cast other people or we could go a different direction. But the fact that he wrote these parts and framed this story around what we were able to do meant the world to us. And he's right when he says, and Jeremy went on a lot of shows this week to sell the movie, and he said, look, Hollywood won't make this movie, and Hollywood actors won't act in this movie. So who else was I going to offer the parts to? He said this is a movie that only the Daily Wire can make. So why don't we make it with Daily Wire people? And you're going to see Matt Walsh in this movie, who made What Is a Woman. Matt Walsh is fantastic in this film. There's going to be cameos throughout. Ben Shapiro makes a cameo. I'm interested to see which cameos people pick up on and which ones they have to watch the film multiple times to see. But it's truly extraordinary. And again, I'm thankful that they gave us the opportunity. I think people will be pleasantly surprised by what we were able to do as non-actors in this film.
Is Jeremy in this himself?
Jeremy is this, and he is starring as Coach Rob, and he does a fantastic job.
Okay, so that is Jeremy Boring, the guy with the beard.
Jeremy Boring, and as someone, when you go watch the movie, you're just going to see Jeremy Boring in the starring role and say, hey, he does a great job. That's awesome. But what you're not going to see is what this man had to do to star in the film, direct the film, at the same time that he's still running a company. Every single day he came to work, he was the leader. He was the most focused, and his energy really, infiltrated the whole set, and we were feeding off of that. So when you watch his performance and you see how great of a job he does, just understand he was also directing the film and running a company. And so I can't say enough about what he was able to do.
Well, I remember when Jeremy did the commercial for the Razors, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually played that the audio portion of that on the radio because it was so good. All right, very quickly, because I've only got about 30 seconds. How can people see this movie? They have to subscribe to the Daily Wire, I assume?
Yes, Daily Wire Plus. It's streaming exclusively on Daily Wire Plus tonight, and that's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Please, I encourage everyone to tune in, check this film out. You're going to have an amazing experience.
All right, David Cohn, as always, appreciate you being on with us here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch it live, but I am going to figure out a way to watch it at some point and cannot wait. And good luck with the project. And he's right, by the way. Hollywood would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. If you watch the trailer, you'll understand.